Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. If you are watching us for the first time, I am Margaret Milutinovic from Financial Goddess, your business and finance expert, where on this channel we talk all about financial empowerment. If you're one of the existing subscribers, a very warm welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about the FIRE movement. So F-I-R-E, FIRE, which is a relatively new concept that I have seen spring through YouTube, and it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So, what are my thoughts on it as an accountant? Stay tuned to find out. But firstly, what is the FIRE concept? So, the basic FIRE concept is that an individual chooses to drastically reduce costs to save large portion of their income to invest. A key milestone that is part of the FIRE movement is that people seek an investment portfolio that is large enough to sustain their spending with inflation-adjusted drawings equal to only 4% of their portfolio value. It's a huge movement. If you haven't heard of it, you can just search the term on YouTube video and you're sure to find a lot of examples of people that have chosen that path. However, as with all trending things, not everything is what it seems. So let me drill down in this video on some key problems that I have identified as an accountant with this FIRE concept. Let's get started. The first key problem that I have with the FIRE methodology is that the current cost of living and inflation versus the real wages that majority of you out there are earning is not really realistic as to how much people can really save. At the moment, an average person in the Western world is struggling to make ends meet. At the moment, in countries like Australia, since May alone, every year the Reserve Bank of Australia have been increasing interest rates to curb the inflation. At the moment, the rents have skyrocketed. The real wages have stayed stagnant, and there's a lot of research out there to actually show that in terms of real wages, we have gone backwards. The cost of living is significantly higher to what people are earning. So, realistically, if you fall into that category like an average viewer, where the money, the income that you have coming through is just enough to cover your cost of living, and that cost of living keeps on increasing, it's impossible, in fact. No, I won't even say very difficult. It's impossible for you to drastically cut down on that cost, where it's essentials like your accommodation, where it's your food and it's your electricity and your cost of transport, your fuel, that are the highest cost. It's not like you're going to a restaurant. It's not like you're enjoying lavish holidays that you can cut back on. My second key problem as an accountant with the FIRE movement, it's that really the people that it's aimed for and the only people that might find it possible to adhere to is the high income earning singles. It's not suitable for an average low to medium income earner, nor is it suitable for a family. If you're a low to medium income earner, once again, the amount of money that you're earning is barely enough, and sometimes not even enough to cover the expenses. So it's not realistic for you to go, I can reduce it. You know, people are already struggling. You are already struggling. So you can't realistically cut it any further back. And in terms of families, I personally have 3 kids. I know that having a family, it's highly unpredictable. Kids have medical expenses, you have school fees, you have school excursions. Kids are growing up, so their shoe size changes. You need to buy new shoes that they outgrow. You need to buy new clothes. They have needs. They might be struggling at school and need tuition, or they might have extracurricular activities. There is birthdays, there's Christmas, there is the unexpected expenses. Doesn't matter how much you cut down on, there's some things you need to cover. And in terms of being a family and having children that are growing, you need to ensure as a parent that you look after your children properly. You need to make sure that they eat a variety of healthy foods. That costs money, of course, to the best of your ability, but that costs money. I have a problem with a method that would ask you to significantly restrict it. Your children's future health as an adult depends on their proper diet in childhood. The same with their development. I personally believe in giving your children opportunities and the resources, again, to the best of your ability, to help nourish them and nurture them to reach true potential, which you can't do if you're going to follow the FIRE concept, because it's asking you to drastically eliminate everything that is non-essential. It's already hard enough as a family with the growing kids and feeding them enough food, especially when they are teenagers, and feeding them nutritional meals and providing them with what they need to thrive and reach their potential, which in my books it is so much more important than what the FIRE is advocating for. So by those terms, it's really aimed at a very small demographic, high income earning singles, which are the only people that could realistically, potentially be able to cut down on their spending and spend on the levels that a low to medium earner would, adjust their lifestyle accordingly and put the rest aside. My third problem with the FIRE method is the impact on the physical health. I have seen, as part of my research for this YouTube video, I have seen a lot of YouTubers out there portray extremely unhealthy lifestyle. And look, I get it. You are chasing a dream. They are chasing a dream of retiring early. It's a good dream to have. I just don't agree with that methodology, because cutting down on food, cutting down on your nutrients, cutting down on the medicine that might be essential for your long-term health, cutting down on your self-care, long-term, it impacts on you, and there is actually an increased cost in your retirement, because if you don't look after yourself properly when you're in your 20s and your 30s, if you don't nourish your body with healthy food, if you don't take care of your medical needs, whatever medical conditions that you might have or injuries that you might experience, when you get to your retirement age, it's like a domino effect. The natural process of aging, plus the compound impact of the damage that you have done to yourself over, say, 10 years of practicing FIRE method to retire early, means that your ability to enjoy your retirement when you actually get there will suffer, because you will be in a poor physical health. Also means that it's going to cost you more, because now that you're retired and all these problems have compounded and are catching up to you, now you need to be spending money on all the doctors and specialists and recovering from the damage that you have done to yourself in the long term. The next problem that I have with the FIRE concept as an accountant is the impact that it can potentially have on your mental health when you take that to an extreme, as I have seen countless examples through other YouTubers' vlogs on YouTube. When you stop socializing to save money, when you stop self-care, when you stop doing things that you enjoy doing in the long term, your mental health can significantly suffer. I'm not talking about cutting back a little bit. I'm not talking about reducing or adjusting how you do things. Think about the impact of COVID over the last 2 years. Think about the impact that it has had on many people's mental health. It is well documented. You might know from your own experiences and the experiences of your loved ones, your family, your friends, the impact that it has had on people's mental health. Now imagine amplifying that, not by circumstances as was with the pandemic, but by your own choice over a period of say 10 or 20 years. Because a lot of the people that believe in the FIRE movement and that have practiced that FIRE movement, that's effectively their average age. Most of them retire sometime between the age of 30 and 40. So if you started at 20, by 30 that's 10 years of sacrifices, by 40 that's 20 years. The next thing that I saw that was quite concerning, although it's not exclusive just to the FIRE movement, it's the loss of focus. People get so bogged down on focusing on that destination, that goal of I need to retire early, I need to retire as early as possible. You know, there's this craziness and the stress they put themselves and their bodies through, but they're not actually enjoying the journey to get there. And then they reach the early retirement, and if they haven't planned properly, they have nothing to look forward to, because their entire lives, your entire 20s, your entire 30s, all you're focused on is your ability to have enough money to stop working to retire. But that's it. That's ultimately it. There hasn't been a thought process as to what are you going to do after you finish working. What are you going to look forward to? And also, what memories have you actually formed along the way? It seems like a whole decade or more just lost in self-torture and self-sacrifices. And at the end, the question is it really worth it? You know, true retirement by choice and on your own terms should be something that is cherished. It's about retiring happy. It's about retiring comfortably. That's what my whole series about retiring on your own terms is about. It's about helping you to find a way of retiring early, but retiring comfortably and retiring with purpose. When you make a choice to retire, whatever age that ends up being, you have so much to give. It should be the time where you can enjoy the well-deserved phase of your life. It should be the time where you can spend more time with your loved ones, spend time on your interests and hobbies and helping community, whatever it is that you want to do. And that is a meaning for me. That is the meaning of true retirement on your own terms. So, what is the ideal age to retire? Watch my next video to find out. I'll see you real soon.